Hello hobbyers. Okay, today I wanted to talk about building a Gundam super duper cheap with relatively easy to find supplies. Well, I don't know if supplies, more like tools. Because you're going to absolutely need some tools to get it together where it looks at least okay without the added expense of paint, glue, things of that nature. Good thing about the Bandai's Gundams is they are all snap fit. They're all relatively decently engineered so that pieces go together nice. They look like they're supposed to be there. There's usually not many seam lines, because they have panel lines, so it looks like they go there usually. And all the pieces are molded in the appropriate colors. Now, this kit I got from Amazon. Now, I am a Prime member, so I didn't have to worry about hunting down free shipping or anything. For $9.99. $9.99. So, we're doing a $10 kit. On to one of the most important tools you're going to need is flush side cutters. Now, flush side cutters are basically, well, they got the nips there, so it's going to cut. Now, on this side, it is smooth. So that's a nice flat edge, so when you cut, it's going to angle it away. But it's going to be smooth on this side. Walmart, in the hobby section towards, I'm going to guess either where they keep the arts and crafts or the fabric or something in that area, you'll find these. Now these are the sharp pointed or the sharp tipped, and this is the only one they had at my Walmart. Now, $5. So, $4.95, something like that. That's what that cost. Next, another absolute critical that you really can't go without is the X-Acto blade. Now, maybe you could get away with using something like this or a smaller version. I think some of the all-in-one kits actually send a little bitty, like the smaller 3mm version of this, or 5mm, the one that's about half that size in the blade. So you could, but it's just not as ideal because you're going to be working in really small spots, and it's just not as utilitarian when it comes to the models, given some of the locations of nubs and what you're next to that you're going to have to cut. So this is pretty big and bulky, and yeah, you might be able to get the tip, but I can guarantee that tip is going to go dull really fast, and you're going to be constantly snapping off because you got to use just the tip or else you're never going to get in there with this much space. So that's why $2.98 gets you a regular X-Acto knife. Now they got the $3.98 version, and the only difference is it comes with because normally they come with the silver blade. This one you might be able to tell has a little bit of a gold or yellow look to it because this is the zirconium blade. They last just a hair longer than the regular blades, but either way, it's going to come with a blade. Maybe even more if you get the packs for like an extra $1. I mean, the pack of blades, you get 10, and it's going to cost you $2. And a pack of 10 blades will last you a long time. So, that $2.98 gets you that, which is also going to be critically important to any kind of kit. Next, we have sanding, because all of this is going to get you pretty close, but to get the Gundam with no painting to look as good as it can with nothing else done to it, we're going to need to sand and buff. So I picked up a few things. Now, all of this I got at Walmart. So this here I got at Walmart for, I think it says about $3. Not even $3. It is actually $2.82. Now, this will work as a cheaper alternative, because what you're looking for is you want something that's going to buff and shine and polish to basically they're really fine, super fine grits of sanding so that it's going to polish. Well, this is called a buffing block, but there's multiple, like right there, buff nail. I mean, when you're buffing something, you're bringing it to a shine. So this is a cheaper alternative at $1.82. So I just like sticks, and this is a 7-way. So there's literally, you could almost get away with just this for $2.82. But when I'm building the kit, I'm going to try to finish the kit out using just this to see how long it lasts. But this is not very coarse. So if the nubs are big and you might want to, and you're going to wear this out real fast, even if it's got and it has a coarse grit to shape nail. So the coarse grit is going to be rough. So now we've located the part and where I'm at. I'm going to skip this because this is partially done already and that's going to be a hunt and peck kind of deal. So I'm going to start over here. Now what we're looking at is the sprue. So we're going to need our trusty and hopefully brand new, if this is the first you've ever done, nippers, as they're commonly known because they nip parts off of the sprues or runners. Okay, so now here's what we're looking at. I need part number B, as is conveniently labeled for the sprue, B13, which would be this part right here. So we're going to get in a little closer. Hopefully I can see what we're doing, but here is B13. Now we're going to come with the shiny flat side of the nippers. Goes towards the part because that's what you want straight. Now the gate is the small piece between the runner and the part. Now you're going to want to go a little bit away from the part because too close, I mean, now if you've got a pair of really nice nippers or really sharp nippers, we can try it. You can go right up to the part, and if you get a nice clean cut, you're good to go, but there's still going to be ever so slight a nub there. Now we're going to repeat the process over here, making sure you don't cut off parts, because if you look further down, this is actually a part of the part. So don't cut here, because if you cut here, you're going to be in bad shape because you're going to be missing this ball that you need to continue. So we're going to come up to the gate, a little bit away from it, and cut. Now that that's done, well, wrong part. Now I have to come over here and do this side because there's 3 holding it on. And I'm going to repeat the process. Just come up a little bit and cut. Now that that's done, we've got nubs. Now we're down to nubs. So, okay, I don't know if we can see this or not, but that is a nub. So there's a nub. Now we have to get rid of that. Now this is where the knife comes in. And see, as small as it is, that's why it's kind of like, you know, with a big old box cutter style knife, it'd be really difficult to get in here. Now you don't want to cut it too close to the plastic, because what'll happen is you'll gouge. So now I don't know if that shows up or not, but there is ever so slightly something on the plastic. Well, let me see if I can show it, but it's right there on that edge. So see how there's a little distortion? Well, that is where there's plastic up off of it just so much. Let me see if this will get it. Yeah, see, there's a little bit of plastic sitting up here on this side that's making it lump up. So we want it up, because up is easy to fix. We got the coarse. Little sanding just to smooth it out. Now that's all it took. and it got it down. So yeah, like I can kind of feel it, so we'll go this way. I always try to do circular motions, but alright, so now it's kind of down. So we'll find the next one down. I mean, we can probably skip the whole, you know, it's got this one's numbered, so we can go to this grit, but we don't need that grit. We probably could have started with this grit. So, where do we want? We'll go to the fine. So when you work your way down, basically what you're doing is smoothing out the previous sanding's damage that you did to the part by the actual process of sanding it. So see, now I don't know if it shows up, but there's a little less shine where I've been sanding. So now it's not as nice and shiny and all that. But as we work our way up the grits, because then we got the coarse, we got the fine, now we got the even out. So, okay. So there we are. Now we'll hit the even out one, which is just a finer grit. Like we're about down to the almost the 3-in-1 ones, but we're still sanding. Now if you take this to it real rough and stay on it, you're going to keep taking plastic along and you won't have that lip that is supposed to be in there to show a panel. So all we're doing now really is trying to just keep smoothing it out. What we're basically doing is sanding our previous scratches. So now we go to the smoother side, even a little bit smoother. So now we're here and that's even smoother. And just keep right on buffing it till it's nice and smooth. I always try to use circular motion. And now, well, you can't even tell it was there. But we still got not as shiny as the rest of it. So we're going to keep right on going. And we got to buff the nail. We're at the 3-in-1. Like if you were to buy just the 3-in-1. And if you're good with your trimmer and you don't mind wearing them out, you could probably get away with a $2 3-in-1. And it would do this. So see, now it's just getting shinier and shinier. And then we're going to go to the shine, the final. Now it's trying to squeak. That's because there's nothing left. But now what we have done is now there is a shine on it. That's where the nub, that's the corner where the nub was. But you would never know there was a nub there, or that I've been sanding it because now it's gone. Now it's been a while since this box has been sitting on a shelf for a while. So now we'll repeat that process on all the parts. Okay. One more thing before I get too far into the basics. Alright. Now, this is a curved piece. And the nub, I don't know if you can see or not, was right there at the tip of it. Now I've trimmed it up with a knife, but the key with these curved pieces, using this, now a sponge will be better because it'll go in with the curve. But with something like this, I wouldn't start with the roughest thing you have. You might want to go with a little smoother sandpaper. But when you do it, you kind of want to make sure you curve and go light. You're not putting any pressure. You're just kind of letting the grit on the sandpaper do the work. And then just make sure you roll with that curve, or else you will very quickly put a flat spot in there. So now we've got that, and just like with all the other ones, it works the same way. You just do you did that, so now you move on to the next side. So then we'll go down in grits. Now in some of these parts that are going to be interior, I mean, I like to do it with all of it, all the pieces, just because I don't know what I'm going to paint when I'm not going to paint usually. But once you get it to there, then you keep going to the, well, I went to the wrong side first. That's the one I should have used first. Now I'll get a better result. But you always got to keep it moving in that circular motion, or else, even with the lower grits, okay, there. Now we're good to go. Now, also along here is a seam line where the two pieces meet. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a line that runs right down the center of that part. And now sometimes the kits will put it where it's supposed to be there. Now if it's lifted up, but this is just basically where the two halves of the mold come together. So you could take a sharp hobby knife and run the edge until you get rid of it. Now this is an interior part, so you're never going to see this on the kit when you put it together. But if you're really going all out and you're trying to do the best you can with just this, you're going to need to take care of that kind of stuff, because it'll show up after you get it there. Now, like I said, this is an interior part, so you're really not going to see it, but you are going to need to sand it, take care of it, buff it, and get it where it's not there anymore. So, there's that. Okay. Alright, now, it's like it was never there. And voila. Now, there is, now that line is gone. It's like it was never there. So that's some of the little details. Now, yeah, I just did that with this $1.59 or $2, $3 stick that does it all. Now, if it was an outside part, you could go all the way down and take care of all of this seam that runs down it. But this is an interior part. It's going to be sitting inside the arm, so I'm not going to mess with it any more than just a demonstration purpose. Okay, so he's been all snapped together, barely trimmed, sanded some of the spots just to get through. I was trying to get through it as fast as I could. Now he's missing a part up here, which is this red piece right here, because I believe my daughter clipped off the wrong part of the sprue, because it looks like I still see a gate where it was supposed to have been clipped, versus I think she may have clipped off the other side of it, which is probably the part. So here he is. He's good to go. She built the shield. I don't know what happened here. It looked like she might have dug at it with the blade, or my other daughter got a hold of it, because we were building this downstairs. So this is just snapping it together with just the two basic tools I said, just the side cutters and $3.71 nail file. So, but I don't know if that shows up or not, but what I did is I got confused with my grits. So, see how that is uneven? That is because the nub is, or was, on this top part. And when I went, because of the type of, I guess it's one more reason why it's better to have the specialty tools versus grabbing what you can. But when I went to go for this one, or the buff nail, which is, I guess, the right before you polish it, I used the medium grit side, and it only took one pass to just kind of whoop, and that was all she wrote, and I had took out the corner when I thought I was just trying to barely touch a lighter grit to smooth out previous sanding lines. I actually made the mistake of grinding off a corner in just 2 passes, because I did a quick, I like light quick passes, so that way took off a little bit, and then that way took off a little bit more than I thought when I was already good, just as is, minus the fact that the part's missing, and that'll take a little bit more work to fix. But we could make this look even more realistic and more pronounced in its detail with some more aftermarket or relatively cheap items. But this guy's going to be my test bed, so there's probably going to be lots of things done to him. But this is the original RX-78. So, hope you enjoyed. And that is how you slap together a Gundam real quick and really cheap. So, good luck and hobby on.